The ocean has been the driving force behind many incredible designs, not just beach houses. I'm on the Victorian surf coast. We're just down the road from here. In 1981, a design revolution happened. It was Bells Beach, where a young guy by the name of Simon Anderson walked down for the first time with one of these, a 3-fin surfboard. He revolutionised the sport. Other surfers thought he was crazy, but he trusted his own instincts and went out and won. Now, I've found a sandcastle not far from here, which is also turning heads. It's simply known as the Ocean House at Lorne.
I don't like indulging too much. I like a simple laugh. But then, you know, I am an architect and I was tempted by this. And in the end, I didn't care. I just went for it.
It's a wonderful, luxurious space that doesn't feel ostentatious.
This is a sophisticated house, but God, it's so inviting and it's really casual.
You've got to love this drive. I'm on the Great Ocean Road, some 2 hours from Melbourne. And it's easy to see why this part of the coast is world famous. The beach retreat I'm headed for is not only a sublime piece of design, but the added bonus is that this architectural junkie gets to stay. As we arrive, architect and owner Rob Mills is in the backyard. Native Australian bush, part of the inspiration for him buying this tricky site.
Because it was such a difficult site to build on, it was incredibly steep. And so only an architect could believe that they could build on it, or a builder.
It was a scrubby bit of land with a rusted hills hoist on it, and I could not have pictured that this is what Robert could put on it.
The western end of the house, there's this cylindrical form, which is solid and curved in shape and form. And then at the east end of the house, you have the lightweight timber structure remaining. So two personalities. That's why everyone looks at this building and wonders how it evolved.
Well, I'm determined to find out more of why.
Okay. So, Pete, this is where the forest edge meets the house, and somehow we had needed to connect the two of them. It's about as natural, I think, as man can possibly make it. And that's important because we wanted the landscape to just touch the house. And so you step from a natural environment onto a man-made environment and then into the house within about 2 steps. And hopefully what we've achieved by doing that is just created a seamless link between the house and the forest. And the house is transparent, you know, at this end of the house. And here you can walk straight across the house and out, and this is why we bought the land in the first place, obviously, because of the view of the bay. Ironically, it's the forest, it's the link with the forest that's actually more important to us than the water view. So it's the opposite to what you would think.
I think I agree with you, because you're on this stage from which you got the theatre of the ocean, but I think you're right, this is actually more compelling.
Yeah, it is. It's more peaceful too. And this is a place of rest. It's where we come together as a family and spend time together and chill out and escape the stress of the city.
So when you walk into that house, you don't walk in and think, Rob's a clever architect. Well, you might a little bit. But what you really feel is just completely comfortable and suspended in this beautiful space between bush and ocean.
As kids, both Rob and his wife, Lucinda, grew up enjoying holidays along this coast. Now it's time to bring their family here.
We do it in snapshots. We come down on a Saturday afternoon and return to Melbourne on a Tuesday morning. And it's just this little window of time every couple of weeks.
I love it. It's so great. Although this is our holiday home, it's really our home. This is the space that Rob and I have created together. So this is coming home.
For me, it's exactly how I want to live. I want to be able to sit within a built environment which is really comfortable and has all of the conveniences of a great home, but then look out and be one with nature.
Now, Rob, into this kitchen, I've got to say, there's not a lot to it. I love the fact that there's no splashback. In fact, your gum trees are your splashback.
Yeah, that's true. There's the fridge, and the oven's set down low as opposed to being a wall oven, and the sinks are sunk down beneath this thick concrete bench top, and so you don't see any of them.
Rob drew inspiration from a few simple artistic objects.
From this bowl, believe it or not, I was encouraged to start to work with very pure architectural forms and create architecture around them.
A humble bowl, a table, and a second-hand light fitting.
That is one of the most, I think, one of the most beautiful objects in the world. And so is that. So they take this very simple, straightforward kitchen and take it to a higher plane. The house is built over 3 levels, and the top 2 floors can act independently in self-contained apartments or be joined together to create one magnificent coastal retreat. Now, these big, long, sweeping balconies are off all of the open-plan living areas, and they lead to something really unusual at this end. This big, round, fortress-like bastion. Mind you, the only time this house would come under attack is when the wind picks up from Bass Strait, and that can blow your fillings out. If you'd like to create your own sandcastle, professional advice and support is just a click away. Whatever your budget, whatever your vision, the right architect for you is at findanarchitect.com.au. Next on Sandcastles, we lift the veil on a medieval bedroom. Sandcastles, brought to you by Subaru, all for the driver. The Ocean House is substantial, with 6 bedrooms. The master cocooned in the top floor turret.
Welcome to the main bedroom.
Wow.
It's a very central room. It is a completely different experience to the openness of the main pavilion. It's almost a womb-like space. It gives you a completely different sound. It's quite closeted, very private. Rob's cleverly put all of the amenities around the outside of the shell. So this is a beautiful basin. There's some storage.
Right.
And
oh, look at
bar.
that.
With a gorgeous view that just captures the pier through that window.
What an incredible space. Who's this?
That's Emma.
Emma, what do you think?
She likes it. And the view.
Wow.
And one more surprise, shower. It's very efficient the way each piece of amenity is just snuck into the outside of the shell.
Did you have any input at all into this?
No, not really. I just let him go for it.
For me, it's a joy to sleep in our bedroom. It's quiet, it's cave-like, it's just great.
That's a great bedroom, but just wait until you see where I'm sleeping tonight. As you start to come down the stairs from the main living area, it's like descending down through a medieval turret. And on the next level down, it's effectively another self-contained house. And this is where it gets really interesting. Here, there are circles within circles, and every part of the segment is used for something else. Here, a bathroom. A few steps along behind this curtain, a little curved laundry, which brings us to the doorway to the centre of the circle. This is like prizing opening the shell and finding the pearl. A circular bed right at the nucleus. It's a bit Austin Powers, but I love it. On the outside, we have a curved WC, a little curved basin, a curved shower, and what I love here, a little curved daybed. Now, if King Henry VIII was staying here, that's where he'd sleep. Leaving that incredible circular bedroom behind, the plan then becomes more square, with another bedroom, another bathroom, and dining, leading to another living room. And when the rooms become square, they open up on both sides to the bush on one side and the ocean on the other. Absolutely getting the best of both worlds in terms of the geometry and the landscape. It really does sit beautifully within this landscape, but I'm wondering how many permutations it might have gone through.
Oh, thousands, because originally it was designed to be a timber shack.
A lot changed due to unexpected hurdles from local authorities, and Rob faced the bittersweet scenario of being both owner and architect.
So if it's not great, you know, there you are with your pants down and there's nowhere to hide. So it's a real struggle.
The arduous planning process impacted Rob's design journey. After finally gaining approval for his timber shack, Rob experimented and decided to take a risk.
I introduced this curved form within the approved shape of the building, and hence we've ended up with two buildings with two personalities.
A really simple way of explaining this design is like this. Looking at it, it's basically a rectangle with a circle placed at one end. And it's where the circle meets the rectangle that all these interesting things happening. We've got all our stairways, and including right at the bullseye, that master bedroom with the white bed right at the centre.
My eureka moment was changing from timber to concrete. You've got to have fun, don't you? I want to have a different experience. Life's becoming more and more homogenised. And so here was an opportunity to create a unique shaped room. And I think what a curve does to a building is it allows your eye to just travel over the spaces much more and doesn't contain you. So your spirit is freed a little bit. So this house is built of concrete blocks with a rendered finish over the face of the block, and that gives us that pure curve. Not only did we use it here, but we've used concrete block and concrete brick in all of our projects for years, and we'll continue to do so because it's such a great material.
For more information about what you can achieve with blockwork and masonry, go to sandcastlestv.com. This episode brought to you by Boral Masonry and the Concrete Masonry Association of Australia. Next, the heights Rob went to with this build.
I got to be careful here, because I'm scared of heights. But
Sandcastles, brought to you by HIA, the industry professionals.
I've never actually slept in a round bed before. Really quite comfy. Did sleep like a king though. And I reckon if you get a chance to stay in this house, you can book it. I'll be doing scissors, paper, rock so you can sleep in the round bed. And what I love, you can actually hear the surf crashing all night.
while it's kind of a suburban environment, it's a suburban street, I think we've managed to go beyond that and capture these glimpses of wilderness. So it's very fulfilling for me.
This bushland setting up behind the house is so quintessentially Australian, and in a lot of ways the house responds more powerfully to this side than it does the ocean. I'll tell you why. If you look at the colours here, we get the blacks, we get the reds, and we get the greys of the eucalypts, and they're the three colours that make up the house. The timber windows, the dark shadows,
and the grey of the rendered concrete blocks.
and in a lot of ways being able to see through the building to the ocean from this side, it sits perfectly with both the bush and the ocean.
It's a single colour, it's primarily a grey. Even the red in the timber's been taken out with a whitewash that we rubbed into the timber, and so the timber, the concrete, and then the furniture within is all of the same family, and it's serene. You know how you get that staccato effect whenever your eye stops on something?
Yes.
We really try and avoid that. And how we do that, or one of the ways we do that, is to use, in this case, a single palette.
The palette is a subtle feature of this stunning home, but the standout is the way the open living space contrasts with the intimate circular side.
I think he lost his straight ruler when he started drawing this because there's not many straight walls in the whole place.
Rendering these concrete block curves smooth was a job for a true artisan.
I studied in Venice in a place called San Sevolo, which is an institute for training artisans.
And now you're working on castles.
Little castles.
Where are we heading, mate?
We're going to the roof terrace, Peter, and I wanted it to be an absolute surprise. So to discover it, you had to go exploring. This is the place where we come and really do capture the world. So, because from up here, we can see everything.
I'll say you can. Outdoor bar, in the sun, round the fire, taking it all in.
Yeah. We had to do it because there's no flat land on the site, none.
How high are we here, Rob?
I gotta be careful here, because I'm scared of heights. 6 or 7 metres, Pete. And this is where the cylinder is cut open. This shows you just the fillets of glass that we gave to the bedrooms. So it does have the feel of a turret. I think you've got a duty to really go for the new and explore new ideas as an architect.
Standing up here, though, you really feel as though you are king of the castle.
Sandcastles, brought to you by Rain and Horn. When it's time to sell your castle, they'll look after you. Next, find out how much Angus Rain thinks the Ocean House is worth.
They'll have to be well-heeled to be able to afford this shack.
And what about the budget for Rob's shack?
No. I can't tell you. It's embarrassing.
For Rob, Lucinda, baby Henry, and Emma the dog, this is a favourite spot of an evening.
It was incredibly complicated to do it, and it cost a lot of money, but it was worth it because sunset drinks up here are fantastic. Good architecture creates spaces for people to live in, and you've got to allow people space to breathe and bring their own personalities and their own emotions to the space.
Rob's happy with what he's created, but being an owner-architect has been, well, an illuminating experience.
To be honest, I now know what it's like to be a client of mine. You know, I've experienced being a client of Rob Mills, and I now know what it's like. And you know, I feel sorry for all of those clients.
Can we ask you how much you spent?
No. I can't tell you. It's embarrassing.
Oh, really?
Well, because the reason it's embarrassing was I was determined to spend a lot less. And in the end, I just went for it. And, but it's worked financially for me. It's actually worked.
What did you think?
Just fantastic. I think probably this is one of my favourites so far.
Really?
Just fantastic.
What do you love about it?
I think, firstly, the bulk of the house. It's a big house, even if it's your primary place of residence. For a holiday house, it is an enormous house.
Have you got some favourite bits? Favourite room?
Favourite room would have to be the rooftop, with a bath and the open fireplace, and of course the views. There's really 2 houses in one, so 2 families can go in together. Also, the older couple with kids with grandchildren, they can come here, and there's 3 stories of accommodation, so they're not all getting in each other's hair. They'll have to be well-heeled to be able to afford this shack.
Potentially big market, one of your favourites. How much?
I'd say 1.8 million any day of the week, plus that.
My friend Angus Rain says this is the best sandcastle he's seen so far.
Really? No kidding.
He does. He said that sincerely.
Wow.
I'm not surprised.
Yes, sure.
Do you want to know what he thinks he could get for it? He thinks he could get 1.8 plus.
Well, that'd be terrific.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Sold? No.
No. No, hopefully, we're never going to sell.
It's a wonderful, luxurious space that doesn't feel ostentatious or formal. It's such a pleasure to be in.
The feeling I get when I walk in that door is, wow, how lucky am I? And I have a moment where I'm quite proud of myself, to be honest. And I'm surprised that have done it.
This house seems to sit effortlessly on this site, but it wasn't easy. And it may have been the single vision of a creative architect, but it took the many hands of dedicated craftsmen to achieve. It actually combines the benefits of open plan living with the sensuality of those curves and proves that you can put a round peg in a square hole and create something quite unique and powerful. And it needed to be. How often do you get to build a sandcastle where the bush meets the sea?
Sandcastles, brought to you by Think Brick, the Roofing Tile Association of Australia, the Concrete Masonry Association of Australia, Boral Masonry, Rain and Horn, Subaru, the Housing Industry Association, and proudly supported by the Australian Institute of Architects. Next week on Sandcastles.
Well, when the weather hits in Marion Bay, you really do need a fortress, and this wall provides it. It's 58 metres long. Now, this is the holiday house of a couple who live on the other side of the world.
Better having your client on the other side of the world, though.
Perfect.